Today we're going to talk about ratios, proportions, and rates. So let's get right into it. Ratios. Ratios represent the relationship of one quantity to another. Ratios can be presented in three different ways. They can be verbal, such as the ratio of cats to dogs is 3 to 4. Another way of describing a ratio is to use a colon, like so. In order to use ratios in calculations, however, you will use a fractional form. Ratios do not necessarily represent the actual number of two different things. In this example, you don't know if there are actually 3 dogs and 4 cats, or 6 cats and 8 dogs, or 600 cats and 800 dogs. Ratios are either part-to-part or part-to-whole relationships, depending upon what quantities are being compared. A class contains 12 male students and 21 female students. The part-to-part ratio of male students to female students is 12 over 21, which simplifies equals 4 over 7. The part-to-whole ratio of male students to all students in the class is 4 over 11 after having been simplified. Always simplify ratios to their lowest terms, as was done in the examples before. Proportions. A proportion is an equation of two ratios that show the comparative relationship between parts, things, or elements with respect to size, amount, or degree. When working with proportions, you can use a helpful technique called cross-multiplying to help solve the equation. To cross-multiply an equation that consists of two fractions, you multiply the numerator of the first fraction by the denominator of the second, and vice versa. Here's an example of cross-multiplying. By cross-multiplying, you'd end up rearranging the problem to 2x times 4 and 3 times 5. Simplifying again, you would get 8x equals 15. Now let's go over rates. A rate is simply a ratio that compares two different but related quantities, such as distance divided by time equals speed, or amount divided by time, or cost per unit. In other words, rate equals amount over time. Rate equals distance over time. Rate equals cost over units. Another way to look at rates is to think of them as changes in the numerator per changes in the denominator. For instance, if your rate of pay is $15 per hour, you know that if you work one more hour, you will earn an additional $15. The key to solving rate problems is to set them up as proportions, convert the units if necessary, and solve for the unknown value. Take a look at the following rate question. A waitress serves dinner every 5 minutes. If she continues at this rate, how many will she serve in 1 hour? Step 1. The question gives the rate at which the waitress can serve dinners. The rate is given in minutes. Step 2. The question asks for the number of customers that will be served in 1 hour. Step 3. Set the rate up as a proportion. Then you convert units, cross-multiply, and then solve. Our final answer comes out to x equals 36. Step 4. Double check your math and that the units were converted correctly. Pay close attention to units and ratios and proportions. Had hours not been converted to minutes in the example, the answer would have been wrong. Alright guys, great session. In the next video, we're going to talk about combined work. So I'll see you there.